sister.
Hey, sister.
It is so good to be back.
It is.
A little bit of time away. I'm sure our real fans saw the message that I sent out that we just had to take a little time to pour into our graduates, and
yes,
there was work and a little travel, and we still have
a lot of work. Yes.
Another pending graduation.
We do.
But we had to take care of our people, so we did that, and now we're back.
But the good news is we got to spend some time together, you and me, FaceTime. So together, not just Zoom together for...
Yeah, not FaceTime together.
Right.
We sure did. It was wonderful. So we are back this week, ready to rewind and entertain.
Yep. What? Do you want to recap what we did last time we were together? Because that was fun.
Yeah, last time we went back to 1987. And when we did, we just dropped right into one of probably the most chaotic babysitting nights in movie history.
Yes.
And we were with Elizabeth Shue, and we were in Chicago. And we just enjoyed adventures in babysitting.
Yes, we did. And this week, though, we are going to stay in parenting chaos, right? In that lane, so to speak. But the babysitter is not the one in over her head this time.
No, it is not. It is the dad. He's obviously fully grown and a family guy, but he's been, working 9 to 5.
Yep.
And now we're going to see what happens after he loses his job and how that changes his life.
That's exactly right. He's going to discover that running a household is the hardest job he's ever had. So buckle up, real fans. We are rewinding into Mr. Mom.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Missy. And this is Real Sisters Rewind.
Join us as we go back to the 80s. Welcome to Real Sisters Rewind. We are so glad you're here. This is a podcast where we rewind to the 80s and review the movies that we still love.
Yes, we do. We're two sisters who grew up on these films. We did everything from theater nights to VHS rentals back in the day, and we're bringing them back and talking about them one movie at a time.
That's right. And if you're loving the podcast, we would be so grateful if you would leave us a 5-star review, subscribe, and share it with a fellow real fan.
And don't forget, because we haven't been back in a while, but y'all, we are still sending out Real Sister stickers. So take a screenshot of your review and email it to hello@realsistersrewind.com. All right, sister, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's rewind back to 1983.
All right, Mr. Mom was released July 22nd, 1983, and I was 6 years old, so I was really, really little.
You were. I was 14. I was actually 6 days away from my 15th birthday, 6 days until I got my driver's license. It was a big time in my life.
Big deal. Did you already have the Cougar or no?
I had the silver Cougar in the driveway.
Ready to roll.
Did
you take your driver's test in your silver Cougar?
I'm trying to think. I think I took it in Mom's car, the Lincoln Continental, and I think it was the yellow one.
I was going to say no, not Continental. It was the Lincoln.
Lincoln Continental. Yes, it was.
Not the Lincoln Town Car. Maybe it's the same thing.
Well, it's the same thing. I think the town car would be like the Eddie Bauer or something like that.
Oh, okay.
The Lincoln Continental town car. It was one of my favorite cars she ever had.
Pastel yellow.
Yeah, kind of that butter yellow.
Butter yellow, yes.
And at that time, it did feel like butter.
And it was big. That was a big car.
It was a big car.
Like on the inside.
That car took us to the Michael Jackson concert.
I know.
Mhm.
Remember it clear as day. I know. All
Well,
right.
let's get into our pop culture spotlight, sister.
Yes. So, do you remember if you saw this in the theater or a
Oh,
VHS?
I got ahead of myself, didn't I? I forgot. Um, I am pretty sure I saw it in the theater. What about you?
I'm pretty sure I saw it on like VHS,
Uh-huh.
but actually probably Betamax, or like on TV
Yeah.
when it came on.
I
I don't
didn't
think
know if it might be one that you would have seen,
I
but
don't think I saw it in the
yeah.
theater.
Okay.
I don't think.
All right. So now I got ahead of myself because I'm so excited to share my Do You Remember? Like I'm ready to get to pop culture spotlight and get to Do You Remember? But let's do our pop culture spotlight, sister. What have we got in music?
All right, so first, one of my all-time favorites, American Top 40. Every Breath You Take, The Police is number one. Rightfully so. It's still such a popular song.
Yeah, it's like you
Um,
don't even need to talk about the rest of the ones on the chart because it
right.
is. I mean, it seems like lately we've been like talking about one and we're like, let's see what else was there. But every breath you take, it,
Classic.
yep,
It spent 8 weeks at number one, which was a lot. That's one of the longest runs in 1983. And there was a lot of good music in 1983, so to me that's saying a lot.
it kind of
Um,
gives me a little bit of the creeps to hear it sometime, though.
oh,
Sometimes,
really?
yeah,
Well, it actually was written as a sort of a sinister, obsessive stalker
yeah, that's
song.
what it feels like.
A lot of
Every
people, though,
breath you take.
misread it as a romantic or like a love song, which is how I view it. I don't review it as like, I mean, I don't
I
view
don't
it as a
know. It's
stalker
like
song,
I'll be watching you.
but I'm sure they played it at your prom.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they
Um,
did.
but I always looked at it as like in a like a loving way, not like in a stalker way. I'll
You
be
know,
watching like in
I
a
mean,
good
it
way.
was a great song, but it does kind of always make me feel a little odd. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, kind of like that Phil Collins song that's coming in the air tonight. That always makes me
Like
feel
heavy,
a
sort
little,
of heavy.
yeah, heavy. That's a good word. I used odd, you used heavy. Yours is better. Well, on television, I'm going to let you guess what was number one.
1983 had to be like something like 60 minutes in there somewhere.
Yes, that's what it was. It was 60 Minutes. Of course, our Dallas and Dynasty was making the climb. That was such a part of my high school. Dallas and Dynasty. And the A Team was also going up the charts at that time as well. What you talking about? Oh no, that's Willis. What did Mr. T always say? I pity the fool.
Yeah, I
That's what he
pitied the
said. I
fool.
pity
Remember
the
when Mr. T made the crossover to Rocky?
Yes. Didn't he start?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he made the crossover to A Team.
Oh,
He
wait. No, I thought
almost
he was
start
in the
that
A team and then went to Rocky. I don't know. Come here for the facts because I'm going to find out. But
one.
no, I think he was on the A team first. I
Mhm.
really do. I'm writing this down. I got to find out.
Okay, find it
But he
out.
was. He made a crossover. One way or the other, he made a crossover. For sure. All right, so on the cover of People magazine, we have the Bond girls,
The Bond
like as in the
girls.
James Bond girls,
Bond, James Bond.
because the movie Octopussy came out in this summer of 1983. And so it was a big deal. And this was, part of the marketing, part of the advertising.
So, does Eric love Bond movies like Chris Washam
No.
loves Bond
No,
movies.
no. He may love them, but we have never watched one. He's never even talked about. I don't think it's a thing for him.
Oh, it's such a thing for Chris Washam. He loves the Bond movies.
Mm-mm.
Um,
So I was just going to say, because there have been more than one James Bond person playing James Bond. This was in the day of Roger Moore.
I
And it was,
never got Roger Moore.
yeah,
Like, he doesn't like seem Bond man to me.
and this was his third appearance. Um,
As 007.
mhm.
007. All right, sister, let's go to Do You Remember? You can go first if you want to, although I'm dying.
Well, yours is probably better, so I will go first. Save the best for last.
Well, it's
Do
not
you,
necessarily a good one, but it is one I had forgotten completely about until Chris Washam asked me a question about it. Yeah.
okay, do you remember? And this was just like such a highlight, I think, of childhood back in this time period. Going to the convenience store. And when I think of convenience stores back then, I don't think of like a 7-Eleven or a Stuckey's or like I think of
Right.
mom and pop.
Yeah, like something that used to be a house with wood floors and
Yeah,
wooden steps that someone made into a store.
like the orange store or Mr. Howell's
Yeah,
store.
made the
Like,
orange store with
yeah,
cinder blocks.
where
Yeah.
you could just put it on the tab.
Yes.
Those kinds of places. Yeah. So and it was a highlight to get to go because there would be all these fun candies and things you could get. It wasn't just like, oh, you walk through and there's the M&Ms and the Raisinets and the gums. It was like all kinds of interesting things at different stores.
Okay.
And so many candies come to mind from my childhood that I just don't ever see at all anymore. But one in particular, which it makes sense that we don't see anymore. But sometimes I would like one just for the fun of it, or were the
What?
candy cigarettes.
Oh my gosh. I used to love to get a candy cigarette.
And
And I would
you
cross my legs and hold my fingers up and
puff
pretend like I
away.
was smoking because every person I knew at that time smoked.
And it even had like the powdered, like powdery, I guess it's like a sugar, but it was in powder. So when you would like puff, it would like blow
Make it look like
like
smoke. I
smoke.
mean, what kind of propaganda was that going on back in the
Were
day?
they? And I don't remember if it was you would eat it or if it was, I feel like it would turn into gum. It was gum. Like once you
They
chewed
did
it.
have some, but then there were some that were more like you remember the dip and stick? Some of
Yeah.
them were more like dip and stick, and you'd kind of pop it, and it would be like a peppermint texture,
Oh,
but
okay.
not minty,
Okay.
more of a
Okay.
candy smell.
Okay. But anyway, I used to love, among other fun candies that we would get
Yeah,
at the convenience stores, curb stores. That was a favorite of mine was to
yeah.
get some candy
Get a and
cigarettes
just sit around and pretend like you're
and
smoking.
just pretend, just get in the car with everybody else and just smoke it up.
Yeah. Okay, so it's my turn. I'm going. And again, this isn't great like I'm making it up to be, but I completely forgot about this. Maybe you can still see this in places, but like I had no memory of it, so I'll be surprised. But
Okay,
you
give it to me.
probably can. Do you remember when we used to have colored toilet paper?
No, ma'am, never in my life do I remember this. What?
Oh, it used to be you could get it in light pink, light green, light blue,
Wait,
maybe
what?
other colors, but toilet tissue used to come with colors. And let me tell you, sister, in our blue bathroom that we
You have
had,
blue toilet tissue.
we had the light blue toilet tissue as the enhancement of the decor.
How long do you think that lasted? Because I do not remember this at
I
all.
know, I didn't either. And I guess Chris saw something on social or whatever, and he's like, I had completely forgotten there used to be colored toilet tissue. And then I saw it in my head,
I
and
bet it was toxic.
it may have been, but I said, that's my next do you remember?
That is so,
Like there would be a mauve color.
that is so weird.
I know.
That is so weird. And I definitely do not remember it. Wonder
Yeah.
if it was more expensive.
I mean, back in the day, it might have been a couple of pennies more.
That is really weird. And like, why would you? That's so funny. I wish I remembered that. That must have gone out in the early 80s because I do not remember it at
I
all.
mean, I guess I could be pushing back to the 70s, but we'll have to find an image or something of it and show our fans, show
That's
the real
hilarious.
fans. All
That's really
right,
funny. Okay.
sister, are we ready? Are we ready
Yes.
to get into the details of Mr. Mom?
Yes, we
All
are.
right.
And we're going to start off with just some movie facts, some tidbits for us about the
Okay, kick
movie,
us off.
a little background, if you
Little
will.
background.
Well, here's something that's interesting that I thought was interesting. So, this was written by John Hughes, our 80s guru.
Yeah.
We and it
And
was
it
one
was
of
in Chicago.
it was
Yeah.
one of his first produced scripts. And he was at this time, remember this is 83, so this is really early, but he was pretty unknown at this point. This
Yeah.
was really early. But here's the thing that I thought was funny is that this story actually was derived from his own real life. Um, he shared that little tidbit with the producer, who was Lauren Schuler,
Uh-huh.
and he talked about how it was a moment in his life where he had to spend a stretch of time at home with his kids. Like he was the mom,
Oh.
and he was thinking how easy it was going to be,
Eh,
and it in actuality was not. And she told him that he thought that sounded like a funny movie, like that it would be an interesting movie.
that is so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And
Well, okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
well, I was just going to say that, early on, obviously, that we had Mr. Mom, but then he went on why I called him our guru is because, and we've already done a lot of these movies, he went on to be responsible for 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, and Weird Science, which is the only one out of those we haven't covered yet.
Yeah.
So he's pretty
His
incredible.
work is prolific. His name stands for itself. Like you
Yes.
hear John Hughes and you just know it. Well, the director's not nearly as famous, and I'm not even sure if I'll say his last name correctly. Stan Dragotti.
Hmm.
He had directed Love at First Bite, and actually, Ron Howard was offered to be the director, but he turned it down for Splash instead. I can see him turning it down for Splash because it had a little more um, to play with, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I could see that too. Here's something that's a fun fact for you. The grocery store scenes were filmed in an actual working supermarket or grocery store in LA.
okay,
And there were quite a few little grocery store scenes. So
yeah.
I think that's kind of an interesting little fact for us.
All right, that's interesting.
All right. So our stars of the movie, we have Michael Keaton as Jack Butler. So he's the dad, he's Mr. Mom. And this is the first time he received top billing in a film.
Uh huh.
Um, he had been in other movies previously, but again, this was his first like big lead. And after Mr. Mom, he was the it guy
Uh huh.
in the 80s. And I can see why. I was very endeared to him in this film.
Yeah.
Like I felt very drawn to him.
Yeah. I
Um,
like Michael Keaton. And it's so funny because after, years and years later, when he was cast to be Batman, there were all these people going like, Mr. Mom plays Batman, but he did such a great job and he looked great in the costume. And so he earned the title and I'm
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
remember that. I remember it being kind of like really?
yeah, because he wouldn't have been what I think somebody would have thought at that
Right.
time, which is
Right.
why I guess people were saying Mr. Mom plays
Exactly.
Batman.
And he doesn't seem like a big physical guy either, right?
Right.
Like that
Yeah,
you
not
think
at all.
of a superhero.
No, not at
But with
all.
the costume and everything, he pulled it off for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, we had Terry Garr, who you and I love, who played his wife, Caroline Butler. And she was in Tootsie, which we did. And actually, she was nominated for an Oscar then. And in this movie, she plays a competent and confident wife. And she and Keaton, I thought they had such great on screen chemistry. But I think she does that with people, or did that. She passed away in 2024, but she just had a way of creating chemistry in those relationships that felt really authentic.
Yes, I agree. She has a warmth and a
Yeah.
like comfortability about her, and she's just beautiful in a not over the top glamorous way, just a beautiful lady.
Like somebody you would really run into the grocery store and see.
Yes, and I agree. I really, really loved her, and I feel like not just, I mean, the chemistry they had was very much of like realistic of
Uh-huh.
a mom and a dad raising kids and trying to make their family work.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Martin Mull. He played Ron Richardson, who is Caroline's boss once she gets hired and goes back into the career world. And he was actually well known from television. And he's really, it turns out perfectly because he really seems like that guy that you're kind of supposed to find annoying, which in the end you do find annoying. Actually,
Uh-huh.
pretty quickly you get annoyed by him.
Yeah.
And he fits that bill perfectly.
Yes, he does. You had playing Joan, the neighbor, and Jillian, and this was her first time in films after like a 20-year absence. She had been working in television, and so I think she's got that face that is easily recognizable. But she was that flirtatious neighbor, and she brought a lot of humor to the movie.
It was so funny when I was watching this. When she came on the screen, my memory was completely unlocked to this movie
Uh
and to
huh.
her because it's what you just said. Her face is so recognizable to the screen.
Yeah.
It was imprinted in my mind. I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember when I saw her, it was the same feeling I felt when I was a kid of like, ooh, am I supposed to like her or not? Like I was
Yeah.
not sure if she was a good guy or a bad guy, but I thought she was really pretty and I mean she's really beautiful and I really liked her, but I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to like her. It was just weird. Like it was
That
all
weird feeling.
it yeah, and it just really as soon as I saw her face, it came back to me. I was like a little 6-year-old again. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this now so well just from seeing her. So you're right, her face is very recognizable.
Yeah. For sure it is. And then we had a superstar. He
Yep.
didn't know he was a superstar then, but
He's going to be Christopher Lloyd. He plays just one of Jack's laid off friends because several of them get laid off. Um, and obviously, we know who one of the big roles he goes on to be later is Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
yeah. I mean, Christopher Lloyd is Doc Brown. He
Yes.
just is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We have Jeffrey Tambor, who played Stan, the other laid off friend. And he is, to me, so recognizable. He's
Totally.
most known for Arrested Development and Transparent. But what I have to say is, like, I had to go look him up on IMDb because I'm like, this guy just, there's a familiarity with him. I guess a lot like what we were talking about with Ann Jillian, but I didn't really watch Arrested Development and I've never seen Transparent, but his work, like over 200 things that you would recognize him from. And there wasn't one single thing that when I looked at it, I was like, oh,
That's it.
that's
Yeah.
it. But as I look at all of the ones, I'm actually scrolling through them right now. His just work is prolific.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know, he's been in so many things, and I did watch Arrested Development, so I remember him in that. But I mean, he's been in tons of things. All right, so let's get into some of the nitty gritty here. Mr. Mom was rated PG, which is why I think I probably saw it on TV because I
Well,
think it
that's
was,
why I thought you might have seen it at the movie
well,
because
yeah,
it was
but
pretty hard. It seems like one we would have maybe all gone to see
maybe
at
I
the
just don't remember.
time.
But I
Yeah.
definitely saw it on TV multiple times. Like I remember that for sure.
Uh-huh.
It's only 91 minutes.
An hour and a half plus a minute, sweet spot.
Nice timing. It had a $5 million budget, but it brought in 64.8 million to the box off from the box office.
That's
So
good.
it was a true hit.
Yeah. Well, it didn't win any major awards, but I think it brought a lot of joy to people. But we also have to remember that 1983 was the year of Terms of Endearment and The Right Stuff. And if you hold up Terms of Endearment and Mr. Mom to me, Terms of Endearment would win every time.
For sure. Mr. Mom was like hey, let's go have fun at the movies tonight
Yes.
type
Let me
of, or
take the kids I'm
afternoon.
babysitting. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Like a matinee.
Yeah. Summertime matinee, like we talked about, going to get cool in the theater, keep us occupied. But like I said, it was a staple on TV. It was on cable with
Yep.
that PG rating. It was clean and easy and family friendly, and also went on to be a VHS staple.
And you know what
Staple.
I think came from this movie also is using the vernacular Mr. Mom, the title of the movie. It became part of, I guess now, what do you call that vocabulary now? Urban legend? No. What is that
Like a
vocabulary?
stereotype?
No, like it became a cultural vocabulary. And we
Oh,
use it for real, like stay at home dads,
oh
Mr.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mom,
yeah. Gotcha, gotcha.
right? Like, for example, my son Michael is an electrical engineer who married a neurologist who is starting a new job, and they have a little girl that he's a bonus dad to. And
He's
he's
a
going to be
Mr. Mom
Mr.
right now.
Mom.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, real fans, it's time to let go of all those pre 80s stereotypes, and it's time to rewind to the new vocabulary of Mr. Mom.
All right, so we kick it off with Jack Butler, who is an automotive engineer in a suburb of Detroit, not Chicago, sister.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking it was Chicago.
Well, because it was John Hughes.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
totally, yeah. So, that just like, we know people going to work in the suburbs, they have a little carpool going.
Oh my gosh,
And
that could actually be a do you remember?
I know the
I
carpool.
remember carpooling. It was huge.
Yeah, because this
And
was
I
a
not
time.
like when you think of carpooling now, you kind of think of like moms carpooling kids that are going to the same place.
Yeah.
But back in the
Well,
day, it was workers.
right, I was going to say, and also this was a time when the suburban life was
Yeah.
really exploding. And so there
Yeah.
was like people in the suburbs carpooling into the city to work. So, long story short, all three of them get laid off. They were talking about it in the car, like they felt like they knew it was coming, and they were trying to figure out who it was. Well, they all three got laid off. And it was in the early 80s, as we know, which there was a recession and it was affecting the auto industry. And so this was actually real life for families in this situation at that time.
You're right. I didn't
So
think about that.
Jack comes home to deliver the news to his family and his sweet wife Carolyn. Was it Caroline or Carolyn? I just went to Carolyn, but it's Caroline, isn't it? Um, has prepared a nice dinner to welcome him home and reassure him that all is going to be well.
Yeah. And I think that they really do great service to that character from the very beginning. Like, he's not a lazy buffoon type, right? Like,
No.
he's a hard worker. He's smart. He's capable. He's educated. He is absolutely, completely blindsided. And you're right, sister. A lot of that was happening at the time. I wonder, as I was preparing for this, I was wondering, have you ever lost a job, been fired, etc.?
I'm thinking I've never been fired or or laid off. I've been like I don't know what to call it, like a role or a program I was working on was
Like phased out or something?
phased out. So I stayed with the company, but I was just moved to a different part of the company.
Okay. Okay.
Have you?
No, I haven't. I have. I wish somebody might fire me, but no, I haven't. I haven't. You know,
I also, or go ahead.
I was
Before
just
you,
going to say, other than teaching, I just had kind of high school jobs before I owned my own business. So, no, I've never been fired.
well, that's what I was going to say, and this is kind of sad. Both of us are in education as a career. We both were school teachers and in elementary education, and you don't see often teachers getting like fired.
Right. It
So
takes a lot. One got fired when I was teaching. She taught third grade and she showed an unedited version of Lord of the Flies. And she came back
in
to
the
school
third grade,
in the third grade and she got to school that next morning. It was already kind of scuttlebutt. And she got to school that next day and she never came back.
weird. Why would third graders be watching Lord of the Flies anyway?
Uh,
At all, edited or unedited
I don't know.
third grade book.
I don't know.
Crazy. All right. So he, like we said, he gets fired, and because he's such a what do you like, not strong worker, but smart guy, hard worker, he thinks I'm gonna find. He tells her at dinner that night, his wife, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get something quick. Like,
Yeah, like don't worry about it.
he's like, I've already got some feelers out." So she says, "Well, so do I." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I went to, I've got a degree that's just sitting there. I'm not doing anything with, so I might as well, in the meantime, see if I can get something. Well, guess what? She does. And actually, it's funny because they make a little bet, and she wins the bet because she gets a job before he does. And her line of work is in advertising. And so she gets hired by an advertising agency called Richardson Frankel. And she leaves for work. And it's so cute because it's like we see in the beginning him leaving and going to work in his carpool and what their
Yep.
whole morning routine is. And now
Yes.
it's flipped. She's in her working, she's not in her like jeans and t-shirt. She's in her like professional work outfit, like suit
Yep.
almost, I think. And he is now staying home to
It's
take care of
such
the
a
kids.
flip the script to see
Uh-huh.
that change. It's a great dynamic. Um, showing the difference of her going to work and him going to work, and then the consistency that was there in the look and the routine, but the it's almost palpable that this may not go well.
Yeah, and she's like quickly like firing off, like, and don't forget this, and the
Yes.
time at this, and then pick up, she's like telling him all these things, trying to get it all in before she walks out the door. And he's like, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine, don't worry. So she leaves and heads off to work.
Da da da.
And um it's so funny because the first big thing we see him have to do is drop off. I think the oldest child was it Kenny? I
Yeah,
think
yeah, Kenny. I think so.
to drop Kenny off at school. And
I have to say this, like this scene in totally opposite ends of the spectrum made me think of Kramer versus Kramer.
yes, where the dad's having to figure it
Yes.
out. Like
Yeah.
he's just having to figure it out. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to put this out there. I'm going to speak in sort of stereotypical terms.
Okay.
I'm also going to say we're both intelligent ladies, and I know that every man and every woman do not fit in these boxes.
Right.
But there are, that stereotype came from somewhere, and it is true. I do believe that men, process and our brains are different. So
Yeah.
he's going into this drop off in man mode,
Yeah.
right?
For
Like,
sure.
he's not thinking about any of the logistics that we as women and as mothers have been through all these years. And so he's just wheeling up. It's pouring rain. And he's just he is not looking for any patterns, any like this way, that way. All the while, Kenny's like, Dad, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. He's
Yeah.
like, I got it. He was like, this traffic's crazy. Well, it wasn't crazy. He just was not paying attention to the rules at all and like wheels in the wrong way. And of course, the person running the carpool, the mom that's like helping run the carpool or the car drop off is like, you're doing it wrong.
I know. I loved it.
And so they explain it to him, and he's like, okay. But
Yeah.
there was no thought to that. He was just like, I'm just driving up to drop you off. That's all.
Right. Like they were making it funny, but the bottom line is that you do have to kind of know the systems and how things operate when you are doing anything. But it was
it's
funny.
like he had no thought going
Yeah,
into it.
no.
Like, I wonder what the drop off system
No.
is.
And
It
I,
was like,
I
he's gonna
think
drop him off.
talking about stereotypes, I just want to say that I do think that moms or dads that are doing all of this and the other one isn't feel like no one has a clue what
What they
they're
do.
going through and that it really doesn't matter. And so I do love it when we see on a movie that shift. So I loved that. I thought Michael Keaton was hysterical in all of this. He, in those first scenes, he actually said that the physical comedy was improvised, and he was thankful because Dragati just let him run with kind of whatever he felt.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's good. That's it. It made it more authentic because it was very funny just watching him enjoy. It wasn't over the top. It was just
Yeah.
like real. It felt very real.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'll say is like as he's getting into this role, there's multiple scenarios that begin to unfold. One of which he has to go to the grocery store. And, immediately things go sideways. Like he can't manage the cart. He's trying to deal with the coupons and he can't
kids.
figure out the coupon system at all. And it just is a disaster. So it's again crazy at the supermarket, and it's kind of funny because his what's the word? His like inability to coupon like a mom at the
Yes.
supermarket it actually ends up being really funny because he's really bad at it, but we see how that pays off later in the movie. So we'll come back to that, but it's a
That
funny.
was clever.
It
I
was
know
a
we'll talk about
clever,
it later,
yeah,
but
it was
it's
a
clever.
clever idea in the script. So kind of funny. Another issue, he's at home, of course, he's trying to do the chores,
Oh my gosh,
and
the
they have this
scene.
old vacuum cleaner that is nicknamed Jaws. It's loud, it's violent, it's
Jaws is
uncooperative.
like a supporting character in this film.
Jaws, absolutely, absolutely. And it gives him all kinds of trouble. Um, it eventually explodes, and it's almost like this battle between Jack and the vacuum cleaner, like Jack
Yes.
versus the appliance.
And it's just really overemphasizing in a funny way the what's the word that I'm looking for?
The
The
challenges, the
yeah,
difficulty.
yeah.
People think, oh, I work from home, or I'm a
And they
stay-at-home mom.
always put just in front of it. I'm just a stay at home mom, or I just work at home. And it's not a just. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is so funny to us, because I think in our gut
Recognize
we
it.
know that it's harder than it looks.
The other funny thing that happens during this time is like thinking about the just and like the chores and things like that. And I think
Uh-huh.
about this, even being at home now, like how valuable it is to have somebody at the house. Remember when all the like fix it men are coming? Like the washing machine man comes, and the somebody else to fix something come, like the exterminator man comes. Like all these people are coming to the house to tend to things that need to be tended to while
Right.
all this craziness is also
Yeah.
going on. And it's just like trying to juggle all of the things you have to juggle.
Yes.
And he was having to do all of that. But he does kind of, what should we say, hits rock bottom,
Yeah, he
right?
does. Yeah, he
Like
does.
he gets to a point where this is like really too much. And I think that in his like it's getting to be too much, he literally just kind of like gives up. And he actually, what I think he turns into is what people in their minds sort of envision when they think of a just stay at home mom,
That
right?
is so good. I didn't think about that, but yes.
Like he's just watching the soap operas. He's like ironing, sitting there watching the soap operas. He's not getting anything done.
He
Um,
looks like a Schlabonsky
he
too.
looks awful. He has this untamed beard. He's greasy. He's wearing the same clothes. His kid's like, this grilled cheese is not melted. And he just like sizzles it with the iron.
Yeah. You know what though, Amanda, in the midst of all this, it's right about here where we start kind of seeing storylines launch where Joan, that flirtatious neighbor, is flirting with him. And at the same time, the Caroline's boss is kind of beginning to flirt, innuendo, and beginning to make moves on her. So you're beginning to feel that tension in here as well.
Absolutely. And I think I forgot to say this, but when he has the supermarket debacle, he runs into Joan at the supermarket. That was our first encounter with
Oh,
the two
yeah,
of them,
sure
because she's
is.
like, "Oh, let me help you." And you know, she's divorced, and she's already like got her sights set on him. And she really is like sort of trying to like put a, what do you call it? Like
A
a
wedge
wedge. Yeah, a
between.
wedge between he and his wife, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Like coming to the rescue.
But
Um,
all of the couponing stuff, that could actually be Do You Remember?
I know.
Because that was such a big thing in the 80s. I mean, you would have your divider and you would show those coupons. And I used to love it how it would take it off at the end.
I know. And I feel like now people still coupon, but it's a different system.
It's definitely a different system. Yes.
Like there's codes and things you use, and points and all that kind of good stuff. Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But anyway, so speaking of the couponing, did you, so during this time when he's like down and out and really struggling, the, like you said, Joan is kind of coming in to put a wedge between them.
Right.
And one of the things is they have this like uh, poker game, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
With the coupons. And that was what was so funny. Like he learns the couponing and like how to work the coupons better because they of their like poker group that he has with the ladies in the neighborhood. It's
Yes.
like Caroline comes home one night late from work and they're like all sitting around her kitchen table playing poker and she is not happy about
And
it at all.
again, that flips the script, right? Because
Yep.
you would be aggravated generally because your husband is out playing poker, and it would be the
Yep.
wife that was upset. So,
Exactly, exactly. And this is when they kind of, I don't know if I should say have it out, but she basically is saying to him, like, you need to get it together. Like, you're a mess, like
yeah,
Caroline tells him.
yeah. And he
And
was.
and he was a mess. And he
Yeah,
actually does start to get it together.
yeah,
He gets a system for himself. He gets the house cleaned. He gets a good routine going with his kids and really becomes this like Mr. Mom. Like
yeah.
he's doing it. And there's even one part with the vacuum where he's like has a remote control for the vacuum. And his biggest trick of all is he gets their youngest son. Um, what's his name? Kenny. Is it
Yeah.
Kenny is the little one? He has his blanket, his blankie, his security blanket,
His
and
Wooby.
he calls it his whoopee. And he finally gets Kenny to give it up.
That's a big deal.
It was a really big deal. That was like his final, like his biggest achievement
Yeah.
is he got him to give
I
it.
thought it was funny when the appliance guy came and he's asking him about the wattage, and he's like, 220, 221, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Like he doesn't have any idea, but he's just getting it handled.
Oh, that's funny. Which is like also, I don't know, that sounds like such a guy thing. Just what
Yeah,
like you're not gonna say, just whatever it takes. That's funny.
very much a guy thing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So he really has become not just Mr. Mom, but like he's enjoying his life
Yeah,
with his home and his
he's
children.
got it together, and it's organized enough that he can enjoy it.
That's right. So around this time, like you said, there was this tension between like Jack and Joan, and I think really at this point we've realized that Joan and Jack are just going to be friends, right? She's just going to kind of help him
Yeah.
with things around the house and giving him advice.
Yes.
Whereas at the same time, this whole other thing is going on at work for Caroline, where she's really moving up in the ranks. And you're not really sure. I mean, she's great, but we're not really sure if it's her or if it's just because Ron is trying to hit on her.
Oh,
Like,
Ron.
it's not really clear. And I think, Jack is kind of feeling like he's a little nervous about that. And
Something might be going on.
something might be going
And
on.
probably because let's be honest, even though he's getting in the groove, something inside of him, it's making him feel less than her
Mhm,
boss because she's spending a lot of time with him. Oh,
mhm.
Ron.
And because she's doing such a great job, Ron needs her to go fly, across the country with him to this ad presentation. Actually, it wasn't a presentation. They won the account. And so they had to be there for the commercial.
Uh-huh.
And so she had to like drop everything and go immediately. And the kids were sad. And he was like, what? And so she goes and he calls her. Jack calls her that night in her hotel to check on her. And Ron answers the phone. And it's a bit of a debacle.
Yeah, it is.
It is a bit of a debacle. Um, we find out after Ron answers the phone. Of course, Terry Garr is furious. Caroline is furious, and she ends up punching Ron in the face because he's like putting the moves on her at
Yeah.
this point. He's like, "Come on, baby." Like,
Uh,
and she's like, "Absolutely not." So she punches him out and quits. She's like,
yep.
I'm not in for this." So luckily, Jack is offered his job back, but it's actually even better because he is asked to return, but he goes back and says, "Okay, I'll return, but this is what I want." And he like negotiates so that his job is um he's in a better position than he was when he got fired. So he's gained some confidence in himself and learns how to name what his terms are, which is really
One of the things that when you have an old saying, it's an old saying for a reason. And I think that one about you have to walk a mile in the other person's shoes applies a lot here as we see him going back to work and her not putting up with it and quitting. There's a newfound appreciation that's going to be there.
absolutely. So ultimately, in the end, they go back to their original roles, but it's such a great opportunity for them to, like you said, walk a mile in each other's shoes. And ultimately, they did a really great job and kept the love between them and kept their family intact and happy and healthy.
And
Um,
I'd like to think that's what would really happen, but I think the whole situation, there were times where it could have gone really south.
yeah, people that it's like in reality, those struggles can really be detrimental to
Yeah.
a relationship and a family.
Well,
Um,
I mean, we've seen those kind of things take a toll on people in our real life. So
for sure, for
I
sure.
felt they did a great job. What I always call like tying it up in a bow.
Tying it up in a bow and also keeping it like an interesting story, but also light and funny.
Yeah, it was
And
really funny.
where you love the characters. And for this being a movie from 1983, I know we're getting into, I guess now, does it measure up?
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what do you think? Does it
I,
measure up?
the only thing for me that was like, oh, this makes it feel dated was like, it was a little bit fuzzy screen. You know what I mean? Like the film
Yeah,
wasn't as clear. And of course, the cars looked old, but like, it as far as the story and the humor and the acting and the talent, like all of that held up for me fully 100%.
yeah. I mean, it was humor that was funny then. It's humor that
Funny
is funny
now.
now. And I will go back to what I said early on. I mean, it did launch a phrase into our vocabulary that we still use today, Mr. Mom.
Yep.
And most people, when you say it, that is what they think. They think of the outside of that VCR cover of him,
Yep. With the
doing the
vacuum.
mom stuff. Yes.
With the
Yes.
vacuum. Absolutely. Do you think that the gender roles, like, does that still hold up or did that feel dated to you?
No, it doesn't feel dated to me. And
Me either.
I
Me
mean, I
either.
could say a lot about that, but it didn't feel dated. I think there are exceptions to every rule, but it didn't feel dated.
Yeah, I totally agree. I agree. That didn't even really cross my mind.
No, I didn't mind either.
All right. Well,
Here we
do
go.
are you ready for clues for
I
next
am
week?
so ready because I am really excited about this movie.
Okay. Now it's time for our clues, sister. And clue number one, this one takes place over many, many years. Like we're talking decades of the
Yeah.
storyline.
Yep. Clue number two, there's a car involved, but nobody is just like out driving it for fun.
Clue number 3, somebody in this movie wins a very big award. A very, very big award.
So drop your guesses in our social media. Let us know what you think it's going to be. We can't wait to come back and share this one with you.
Yes. And if you have not left us a 5-star review yet, this is the time. Go do that. It helps us get our podcast out to other folks. And go ahead and screenshot it while you're at it and send it to us at hello@realsistersrewind.com so we can get a sticker to you in the mail.
And thanks so much for rewinding with us. I'm just going to challenge you all to go find someone who's never seen Mr. Mom and fix that immediately, because
even your kids will
laugh.
Even for your kids, it's funny. Like, it's a great family movie.
It really is.
All right.
Bye, sister. Bye,
sister.
Fan.
Love you.
Love you.